This on Facebook.
And don't forget to record for Crystal for the podcast.
Okay, I will.
Crystal
Okay, we're live.
for the podcast.
I will. And record. Awesome. Welcome everyone. Thursday night, Shredders Night Biz Call. Wow. Thank you, Heather. I have to say I was a little flustered. I walked in at 7:29. So what doesn't matter, 7:34. So I'm 4 minutes late. Thank you everyone for joining. We've got a great crowd tonight. Welcome to 2022. We are so excited for this year, and thanks for the call last night for Tuesday night. Susan Rothman's here. Wow. I've got a lot of good quality people on. Thank you, Ricky. I'm gonna have to have you back soon. I'm very excited to get 2022 get started by going, as I said, back to basics. And I wanted to start interviewing the successful people within our Shredder community that have begun to share and actually beginning to build we're building our goal. We're here to build ERShred. And the easiest part of that is we first become a product of the product, as Patrick Greenlaw would say, get the best result possible. You're your own walking billboard. And then people begin to notice our energy changes, it shifts, we feel better, we are more magnetic. People start noticing you're showing up different. And as such, they're going to ask you, what the heck are you doing? And of course, you get the opportunity to share your story. Before I get started, I wanted to give a shout out to Melanie, our Heart of ERShred. I know she's still under the weather. She sent me a message, and unfortunately, it's kind of uphill, downhill for her. So keep her in your thoughts and prayers. And for anyone else of our shredders that's dealing with this nonsense, our hearts go out to you. It's my personal hope, and maybe I can ask Susan later on, that we're closer to the end and this burns itself out sooner than later. I guess we'll see. We're all kind of going nuts with it, right? But we have something so unique, so wonderful. One of the best things about ERShred is that we're allowing people to gain control of their health as well as increase their immune system. And there's not two things that are probably more important outside of maybe even losing weight and helping out managing your sugars, which will keep you healthy, wealthy, and wise and out of the jail in terms of what this flu-like virus thing that we're dealing with. That said, I am super, super excited to bring on one of our Heart of ERShreds, an individual who has had ample opportunity to get started years ago, but for whatever reason, we're going to learn his story in terms of why and what it took for him to say yes. But with his involvement, with his experience, with his wife, they've been amazing, and they've been a huge, huge asset to our shredder community. And I'm happy to have him on Shredders United. He's had literally an amazing December, and he's brought on many, many people. But with not further to do, I want to bring on Rique Rivera. I'm sorry. Ricky, are you there?
You got me, Bob?
I got you. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I got you.
Excellent. Well, hopefully my dogs behave and it will be smooth sailing from here on out. So
hopefully all our dogs behave.
Yeah, it's so cold. I think they might. I mean, we're in the single digits here. I know Susan's on. I can give her a hard time. Susan, look, you are in Florida, so you're no longer in Minnesota. And I know there's other parts of the country that are colder than Chicago. Not many, but it's that time of the year. Well, Ricky, how I'd love to start out is there are a lot of people who have recently joined ERShred or are watching this for the first time. I'm broadcasting this on my wall. And for people that don't know who I am, my name's Bob Sivrite. I've been blessed to be part of ERShred from almost the beginning. I was a little shy to get started, kind of like Ricky. It took me a few weeks to say yes. I had to kind of catch up on a few books, but I was a little terrified of the all meat thing that we can talk about. But that said, it transformed my life. And I've been lucky enough to be involved on the business side. So what we're going to talk about tonight more than anything is how we share our experience, how we build our community. And for those of you on the Facebook page wanting to know, I had someone say this the other night. It was hilarious. They say, "Oh, we love your TV program you do on Thursday nights." Anyway, so the cool thing about Facebook Live is that you don't know who's watching. And there are a lot of people who watch this and find it entertaining, which I think is awesome, because we talk about a lot of really cool things. We talk about mindset. We talk about limiting beliefs, how we get ourselves out of our own way in many respects so that we can basically share this wonderful, amazing system and turn it into an income generator. And that's the nicest thing, is that when I look at our business model, it's literally all we want is to introduce it to people so that they can get their products paid for. But if everybody did just that and that alone, we would all be amazingly successful. We would literally max out the income positions. It's not about the money, as Shawn says, but what I know we have in our ERShred community, it's all about uplifting. It's helping out our neighbor. And we feel so good on the inside, we feel compelled to share it with others. And this is the community, this is the culture that we have built. So Ricky, for those that do not know you, why don't we start out and who introduced you to ERShred in the beginning?
Shawn.
Okay,
Shawn
so our
asked-
fearless leader.
He did, and he invited me into ERShred, and I literally sat there for 10 months watching and reading everyone's success stories and watching, one of the big parts for me was watching the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And they're before pictures, and a lot of the before pictures you see people and you see kind of a lack of life in those pictures, and it's just, I gotta take another picture. But by the end of the 11 days, on day 12, when they take that picture, you see that life start to come back into their face, into their smile. And that hit me big time, because my whole life I've enjoyed making people happy, whether that was in the old life of being a cook and cooking for everyone and bringing together people through food, or just an everyday, hey, let's make you laugh and turn that frown around. So when I actually jumped into ERShred and saw it happen to myself, it kind of rejuvenated me, because I was in a dark spot.
So let me ask you this. So what do you do for your real job? What's your day job?
So right now I'm kind of, I've actually cut back my hours with the restaurant a little bit, and that's more on a personal level and the way things have been going down there, and for lack of better terminology, the lack of caring from who they've now put in charge down there. So I've taken more towards helping our community out here, because where I live, it's very rural.
Okay.
I mean, literally, people consider where I live the outback of the USA.
Tell people where you live.
So I live in Southwest Texas. The Rio Grande is about 20 miles away from my house. Big Bend National Park is my backyard. I literally have javelinas run across actually last night, javelinas came over and tried to steal my 50-pound bag of dog food. They were dragging it off into the bushes. I have a mountain lion that lives on the mountain behind me. Doesn't bother anyone. And about 2 weeks ago, I had a black bear that came down out of the park and was just roaming around in the field behind me. So yeah,
you do live in the outback, the outback of the United States, of good old Texas. So you're a restaurateur. Is that our chef? What do you like to be known as?
I've always just told people I'm just me. I've been called chef. I've been called boss.
Okay.
I've been called the motivation manager. I've been called part of the dream team. But for me personally, I'm just me and who I am. So I've held many titles.
That's awesome. So you mentioned you were here from the very beginning. Did Shawn put you in the group like on day one and October 1st?
I might, I want to say it was like August when it was in the beginning stages and he was using himself as a guinea pig.
Okay, so you were watching his videos, his Facebook lives that he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and Shawn and I have a history. I mean, Shawn and I met 10 years ago.
Okay.
And he first introduced me to some other products in within the company. And, you know, we've kept in touch ever since then. You know, I've been.
Did you ever, so for our fulfillment company, for those that don't know, and it's a good time to do the disclaimer, Isagenix is the fulfillment company we use with ERShred. We use the Isoline Pro shakes, and we use the collagen bone broth, as well as our Cleanse for Life, which is what we use for the intermittent fast. I mean, those are really the three core products. And we have the Hydrate, which is electrolytes. Got a shake going here. No, it's good stuff. But it was Shawn discovering the elimination component, his own experience and what he went through in marrying it with our core system. That was really the beginning days of, you know, he gave birth to ERShred, if you will, he and Crystal. I know that as a group, we kind of went live with the ERShred community starting in October. I think October 3rd was our first date, going live with it. And I know that I didn't start with the first group, but tell everybody, because this is interesting, because not everybody gets started right away. So you met Shawn 10 years ago. At the time, you were running a California pizza.
Yep.
Okay.
Him and his mom and dad all came into the restaurant, sat down and ate, and I was the manager at the restaurant.
Okay.
And Shawn and I started talking, and then we became friends on Facebook almost immediately after that.
And had you used any of our products for the previous 10
had
years?
never used any of the products until May of last year.
Okay. So tell everybody, how did that come about in terms of how did Shawn get you to come take a look at ERShred, and what was it that got you to say yes? Now, you didn't say yes until when? You said 10 months. So from
I literally sat in the group for 10 months.
Okay, so when you got started around May?
It was May 27th was my
End of May. Okay. All right. So
and I remember it because it was kind of it was almost like a rebirthing of myself.
okay. So that's the story. So basically, we all love Shawn. We know Shawn Escobar, who's along with Crystal, are founders of ERShred. We call him Captain Caveman. And we know that it was his original Facebook Lives that it got all of us involved, including myself. I was like, my God, what have you done? I mean, your energy switched, you feel good. I know I just talked to you a few months ago and you were not feeling well. I mean, what is this thing, right? So tell everybody how you're in the group, you're watching along with Ashley, your wonderful wife. What was it that made you finally say yes? Was it a transformation? Was it the combination of stories?
It was the community. It was the community, and I saw authenticity. I saw a supportive community, and I saw people that had failed and failed and failed over the years, and finally something was given to them, a gift was given to them that was unheard of through anything that we've ever heard of. I mean, you know, I tell people all the time, we've been lied to for the last 70 years, and this was completely going against the grain. And who doesn't want to eat steak and bacon and eggs, you know, a lot of the time?
Had you done previous diets in the past?
Yeah, I've done Atkins, keto. I mean, I've done, you know, even the workout ones to go. I've starved myself. I've been on Slim Fast. My wife worked for GNC on it. So, you know, I didn't get much into the supplements from GNC, but my wife did. And it was not a good result. For her, it was not a good result.
So tell everybody, for those that do not know, and if you're here in Shredders unite. Now we're going live. Our ERShred community is based upon a protocol that is an elimination diet. And we basically bring you to a baseline, and we use that by using grass-fed beef. And we eliminate that first 7 meals, just about everything else, except for we have our Isoline Pro shakes incubated. And then we have the collagen bone broth and butter, right? Grass-fed butter. It is kind of crazy, right? When you think about it. Let me ask you a question. Are you consuming more butter today than you were in May?
Yes. Ashley will tell you it's funny because, you know, I keep a stick of butter out that's just for me, and I'll literally walk by and I'll have, you know, a little bit of hunger or something, but I know how to take that edge off. And so a stick of butter for me is now like a candy bar was, and I'll just take a bite off of it. So
It is. It's
Ash goes to the fridge to use the butter, and there's teeth marks sitting in the butter.
For those that think we're crazy, literally we're all about becoming fat adaptive. And in the process, what ends up happening is that rather than craving sugar or carbs, we crave healthy fats, which includes grass-fed butter. And I add coconut oil to my coffee as well. Avocados agree with me, but it is kind of fun. It's a journey of discovery. So for the audience out there, where was your before and what's your after? Where are you at today in terms of where are you physically with ERShred?
So before I answer that, I'm gonna answer the Shredicator over there. I took a lesson from Captain Caveman and went back to ancestral. We bite our butter over here. Forget that spoon. When I started ERShred, I was at 273 pounds.
Wow.
By the end of October, I was at 173 or 183.
So you're down almost 80 pounds?
I'm down 90 pounds.
90 pounds.
Yep.
Holy cow. Do you have anything more to lose?
I've been fluctuating between 183 and 188, but I've also been focusing a lot on strength training and toning up. For those of you that don't know, something I've wanted to do my whole life was actually be a certified personal trainer, but I couldn't ever get the weight under control. Well, guess what ERShred did? And I will be finishing my certified personal training this month.
Nice.
I will be a certified personal trainer, and by the end of March, I will be a nutritionist, which I don't know how much my nutritionist teacher likes me right now because kind of goes.
You may have a different view than the textbooks at the moment.
It's good for conversation.
No, and it gets you in the door to say hello. But I think what you're going to probably share with people will turn them upside down. So you're down 90 pounds. When's the last time you were at this weight?
I don't even know. Probably middle school. In all honesty. I mean, in high school, I played football and all that. That's where my back injury came from, was high school, and playing football. So I would say probably around 8th grade.
Okay. And I'm only mentioning that because I find it fascinating. Even though I was part of this fulfillment company that we're part of since 2004. So I've been at it, it'll be 18 years in March. And I've been with ERShred now for a little over a year. A good 16 and a half years doing the old protocol. I could never break 200 pounds. I was hanging out 205 to 215. And the 1 week with the ERShred, I went to 198. And today I'm at like 188. But this is my high school weight. So if you had told me at my age at 60 that I'd be at my weight I was a senior in high school and a 32-inch waist, I'd say there's no way, right? But what I'm amazed at is my body has leveled off, and I have stayed right here consistently, literally for the last year. And so the other part of it is you look younger since I remember when I first saw you, but how do you feel?
I feel younger.
I
feel younger. I have a lot more energy. I mean, my son, a lot of you know Corbin out there. my son will even tell you, no, dad is a much different person than he was, last year. And he's got more energy. He's actually going out and, I was to the point, if I went running, I wouldn't be able to last more than 4 or 5 steps. And now my son and I, where I live, we've got there's a private airfield down here on the ranch. And me and my son go out there almost daily now, and we go for a little run and take the dogs out. And, he gets excited over that. He always ends up trying to race me.
So let's fast forward. So you've had an amazing result. How did Shawn introduce the business to you? How did that happen? Or the business side of things?
Shawn actually started introducing me to Isagenix 10 years ago. The very first time I met him at California Pizza Kitchen. And I remember one of the first things that he said was, "I'd like to see you on the product. You'd be ripped." And there was, Shawn has a saying, was it random chance or fate that we met? Well, for some reason, it's always stuck with me. And no matter what, throughout the years, even not joining him, I still believe that there was a reason and there was fate that I met him.
Mm-hmm.
It was revealed with ERShred. I've been part of his journey. I was part of his faith crisis. And that's kind of where we started to reconnect when I stepped in on one of his posts. And then, we talked a little bit here and there through the years, but ERShred was where everything just made sense. And kind of like I told you, I sat there and watched, and I'll be honest, it wasn't Shawn's first live about ERShred that did it for me. It was literally the community and watching everybody in there. And I turned to my wife and I told her, I'm gonna try this, honey. I was pretty much looking at it as my last piece of work. I'm gonna try this. This is something completely different. And I jumped in, and then after that first shred, I saw what it did for me. And I asked Shawn about the business side of it. So it was me saying, "Hey, well, what about the business side?" And Shawn made me wait. He actually didn't bring me right into the business, and I still continued to start to live a shredder lifestyle. And as I grew more passionate about it, that's where Shawn started introducing me more into the business side of it.
Okay.
And, when Shawn and I would talk about the business side of it, I before I jumped into ERShred, I was part of a couple of different other health and wellness things that I wasn't that passionate about. And the marketing that they did, what they told you to do, it wasn't for me. I didn't like it. I didn't feel like I should be pushy like they told you should be. And
was this other network marketing type businesses?
Yeah. And
okay.
Part of my thing is I'm not a network marketer. I'm not. You said it at the beginning. I'm in restaurants. I'm a chef.
Okay.
But I do like sharing my life.
But you still got involved in other network marketing companies.
I did. And the reason for that, Bob, was, like I said, my back. I was to the point with my back where I couldn't stand more than 10 minutes. So working in a restaurant wasn't working for me anymore. I couldn't stand on a line and help my team out. I couldn't be out with the guest or the service staff, for extended points of time where I could actually stand there with them. I couldn't be their expo and help them get the food out. And so when I got involved online, it was me searching for a way to produce an income while still being able to give back to a community and connect with people. Because really, in the restaurant, what I loved was actually connecting with people.
So your main focus was you were looking at network marketing as a vehicle for income.
Yeah.
As a business first.
Yeah.
Not having an experience. Okay.
Yep.
Did that lead?
Is that mindset? I'll tell you that.
So this is good stuff. So because of that, you didn't find yourself as excited or, as you said, passionate. Okay.
I didn't.
Were you successful with any of these other companies?
I had little successes, nothing to, you know, to write home about, but no, I wasn't, not nearly. I didn't have a passion for them, you know, and a couple of their products did help me in certain ways, but nothing like ERShred did.
Okay. But the bottom line is you weren't replacing your restaurant income, or you weren't necessarily in retirement walking the beaches or whatever
Right.
some of their marketing is. Okay.
You know, and the other point of that is that the world's crazy in this day and age, and us as parents, personally, I don't feel we're spending enough time with our kids.
Mhm.
And I grew up without a father. My mom had a gambling problem, so she was always off. And so a lot of my life, all I wanted to do was become a parent and give my child the chance to have parents, true parents. As the world got crazier and I saw that we were required to work more away from our families,
Mhm.
I wanted to replace that also. I wanted to be more, I wanted to be more of a father as well. I wanted to have, you know, that time with my son. I wanted to see him grow up.
So was it, getting back with ERShred, so was it a combination of factors that interested you, as far as, were you thinking of the business when you thought of ERShred, or was it more of, I want to have an experience first?
So it is a combination.
Okay.
When I first asked Shawn, it was still a combination. It was, I saw an opportunity, but I also saw the side that I can be me and share something that I'm passionate about that I know will truly help people.
Right.
And that's where my excitement came from when I joined the business. I found something that can truly help people in this life.
Okay. So this is really unique. So for those that do not know, Shawn Escobar is immensely successful with our fulfillment company. He's in our legacy. He's in our legacy group, which we refer to people who've made over $1 million at this. And he and his mom, literally his mom and dad put this company on the map. They were the first people to make $1 million within, and that was in 2001, 2002, in Isagenix. That said, I mean, it does require a skill set. It does require commitment. It does require focused effort. And a lot of that, it's easy if it's passion or it's driven by passion, and if you have a big why. So what I'm hearing from you is, as your why developed, it was a combination of your own health, but it was also the importance of family and having the time flexibility to be with Corbin and to be with Ashley.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's truly.
So this is the part that I find really interesting. So Shawn is, I look at him as a mentor. I mean, I met him from the very, very beginning. They had amazing success when I was still questioning the business. And I was kind of like going, yeah, it's one of these things, good for you, but not for me. But it was Shawn's success and a few others that kept me in the game. But it was honestly, he was just a genuine, authentic, loving soul. I mean, he's always been that way.
Always been that way.
But what I find most interesting is that most network marketers, if they had anybody that said, yes, I'm interested in the business, they would be on you like, you know what, right? They'd be all over you, and you got to do this, and this,
like
and
a fly
let's
on,
go.
you know what?
And interestingly, here's a guy who's super, super successful within Isagenix, within the fulfillment company. You were asking him about the business, but he wasn't willing to really push you yet. He kind of just held off.
And you know, he brought that up. Give me 1 second. I got puppies coming up.
Sure.
Stop, dog. He really wanted me to understand fully what ERShred
Okay.
can do for people.
So he was wanting, did he want you to have more of a transformation, both physically and mentally, or was it
Yeah.
your mindset?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And, when I asked him about it, I was still in that mindset of, hey, this is a way to do what we've talked about, but I wasn't fully understanding the passion behind it.
Okay.
So when I say that ERShred was like my rebirth,
Mm-hmm.
it brought me back to who I was in my younger days, someone that actually wanted to give back to the world, someone that genuinely cared about other people. And ERShred actually helped me do that.
So now you've been in here, but I got to ask you this question. If I were to ask you, when someone says ERShred, what comes to your mind first? What is ERShred to you?
Empowerment.
Okay. What else?
Caring.
Okay.
A community. Support.
So you said, okay, so far you said empowerment,
caring,
caring,
support,
and you said community, and you said support.
a family.
Okay. Family. Okay, your family. What's interesting about this, I love you, Ricky. This is the heart and essence of what we're doing, is that I asked you what ERShred is, and you've said 5 things, very powerful. But not once did you mention it was a weight loss program or a program to get better sleep or to have more energy.
It's so
See what
much
I'm
more
saying?
than that, Bob.
Okay.
So now, all right, you got the emotional side of me now.
No, well, we all did. I mean, I joke, for those that know me. I mean, I cried. Shawn said this will make you cry on a Facebook Live, and I thought, there's no way. I mean, yeah, you did it, but that will never happen.
Every damn time, Bob.
Why do you think you get emotional?
Because I love it. It literally, I mean, I started for my own weight loss journey. I knew dropping weight would help me, genuinely. I never thought I would reconnect with the lost mindset that I had. I never thought that I would be part of such a caring, supportive community and make so many more friends that I would have never had the opportunity to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally giving me back a life that I wanted that I forgot.
I also think it's one of the reasons why I got emotional is I was having a hard time explaining how good I felt. I just couldn't. I was having a hard time communicating to people in Facebook world that I am a different person. I mean, and I was asking my wife, that's what choked me up. Allison, you got to tell people that I'm a changed man, right? So this is beautiful. Bottom line, did ERShred give you purpose?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So Shawn is brilliant. He's a genius in many respects, and I love him like a brother. But I find it fascinating. So he's known you for 10 years. He finally gets you in to take a look at ERShred. You waited 10 months. You finally say yes. You start having a great experience right off the beginning, and you immediately put your entrepreneurial business hat on. Hey, Shawn, what about the business? And it's more like he said, not yet. And he allowed you to have your transformation. Okay. Now you know the true essence. He literally is created. I mean, you actually represent what we're all about. Now that you have your purpose, let's go to the next step. What was it and how did you start doing? I saw when you started doing lives, but what was it how did you start communicating? Because you're out in the middle of nowhere. It's not like you're not in Chicago. So it's not like you've got a lot of people to talk to. So you have to be a little creative. So how did you start attracting people to the community? How many people have you brought in, and literally like in December, how many people have come on and joined your?
I haven't kept track. I do know every one of their names, but they're not a number.
Okay. But
I don't, I think we're sitting at 9 now.
Okay.
There's quite a few more sitting in the group right now.
But it just, so when did you start sharing it? When did people start joining your vision?
Honestly, I started sharing it after the first 11 days.
Okay.
Like, oh my gosh, look at this. I know so many people out there that are looking for this answer. Hey, have you look over here? And no, don't get that surgery that you're talking about. Look over here first. It's going to be much healthier for you, you know. And so when I started sharing it, I wasn't in the business, and I was thinking of people that I knew from my past. Being in the restaurant for the 28 years that I have been, I was a national trainer for Darden restaurants, for Olive Garden. So I went all over the country. I traveled the country doing trainings for other restaurants, other companies. So my network was already pretty big, and people already knew me because of restaurants. And because of the restaurants, I always cared about my teams. My teams always came first. I never bought into the big, you got to take care of the investor and take care of the guest. And then, you know, I switched that. It kind of like the food tree. I turned it upside down. You take care of your employees, you take care of your team, who then takes care of your guests, who then takes care of your investors. I'm sorry, all the investors out there, it's like going to Vegas. You're taking a gamble on that job. In order to make that work, you have to take care of your team. And
Wonderful.
so when we talk about a transformation in the business sense, it was more of, when I say it was a remembrance for me, that's how I look at this business. It's not to make money, it's to take care of my team. Because that's where my roots truly are. Is I've always cared about people, and I've always wanted to do. I always help people. I mean, that's just who I am. I mean, in my community right now, you know, I got people that call me and they're like, Ricky, I can't get this damn computer to work. I head over to their house, and you know, there's nothing required of that. It's just, hey, I'm being a good neighbor. And so ERShred helped me remember that's why I originally started out, was to help and develop other people so that they could live a better life. And that's how I look at the business side of it. It's not the money. Money's definitely good. We have to have money in order to progress in life, but money can be jaded. So when you take it back to something pure and helping, and you hear my dogs freaking out, the focus doesn't become the business. The focus becomes the people, and truly showing that someone actually cares for them. And, you know, there's a saying, you have to put on your own oxygen mask before you help others put on their oxygen mask. And I look at it as, I put my oxygen mask on. I've learned that way. Let me help you put on yours.
So let's do a little role playing. You just met me, and I'm interested in this thing you called ERShred. Tell me about it. How are you? I'd like, take me through how do you like to introduce people to ERShred? What are your steps?
Well, that varies for everyone. So it depends on how I met you also. So let me do this. You guys have been seeing me do TikToks.
Okay.
Right before I jumped on this call, I was talking with a gentleman because of TikToks. And literally the TikTok that I made was, and I wrote on it, I said, me when they call my lifestyle a keto diet. And it goes, what? Scoozy? And I had a gentleman comment, you know, I've lost 15 pounds with keto diet. And that conversation all started with, how long have you been doing that?
Okay.
And from there, we started talking. And I didn't make it about all of that. I wanted to know who he was, what led him to this point in his life. So we ended up talking about cars, which he's very passionate about. We ended up talking about his gut health, which he had, stomach surgery, and a lot of his abs have been ripped out of his stomach, and things like that. So we talked about his dogs. And all the while, we talked about his back pain, at which point now I can relate, because I have back pain, I have dogs, and I'm putting a lift on my car right now, so now I have things to be able to relate to him with.
Mhm.
We talked about his arthritis and why he stopped working on cars. At which point, it became, well, okay, so you've lost 15 pounds in 8 months with this. What if we could double that for you? Because you said you used to be muscular and a lot slimmer. What if we could double that in a much shorter time? And the immediate thing becomes, well, I can't work out that much because of this and that and other concerns. What if I told you you didn't need to work out that much? What if I told you you just have to get up and move for 10 minutes a day? You said you were eating keto. Well, if we take it one step further and we introduce grass-fed to you, and I tell you you eat steak and eggs and bacon and slather it in grass-fed butter. And then, I don't focus too much. I give them a little bit of interest. I tell them what we're doing. And then still, I don't want to make it a business. I want to make it about the person.
When do you invite them to the community?
Usually within a couple of conversations. The gentleman that I talked to from TikTok, he's now in our community, and we built that relationship tonight. And we started our conversation over there.
Mhm.
And I told him, well, hey, I have a wonderful supportive community that I would love for you to come check out and, see how we can help you. I'd love for you to go into our search bar, type in arthritis. I'd love for you to go into that search bar and type in, gut health. But what I'll do is I'll tag you in our welcome post so that you have a good basis to start learning what we do and who we are.
So what we can talk about, and this again, just to cover our own tushy, the disclaimer simply is we don't cure, prevent, or diagnose any diseases. What we are, though, is we're showing people a way of great nutrition and eliminating all the culprits and getting the right nutrition in the body. As such, in combination, people are starting to see their body to come back into, so the homeostasis or balance. People are feeling good again.
So at that point, Bob, just to add to the disclaimer, I don't claim anything.
Mhm.
What I tell them to do is I'd like them to see other people's
Mhm.
experiences with this, and feel free to connect with those people.
I think one of the greatest assets of our community, and I'm sure that's why you feel comfortable putting people in there. You mentioned it's authentic, it's real, and you can't fake that, can you?
No, you can't. Now, on that note, I don't just put anybody in the community. I feel a sense of protection for our community.
Nice.
So
Okay.
before I do, I want to make sure that the person that I'm connecting with, the person that I'm building a relationship with, the person I'm building a friendship with is authentic. And, they're not just going to go hog wild in the group with
Right.
whatever mindset or whatnot. And then, I'm using the gentleman's night because he touched me. his story and his mindset touched me. And, talking to him, when I did say, well, hey, we have this group, it was, we were talking about his story and how he had helped other people. And I mentioned, there's power in your story. And he goes, yeah, I truly believe that. And I believe that I'm still here because I have helped so many other people with similar conditions. And I'm like, and he mentioned, there's a way for me and I'm just waiting for it to be revealed. And when he mentioned that, I felt a connection. And my mindset wasn't the business. It was, I think you can be a great person that can help many people with whatever your story is, because your story could be someone else's survival guide.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome. It's no, I marvel at the power of our community, and I keep talking about community. Now Jesse does the same thing. I know Shawn mentions it. We do protect it like it's our family. But that said, I've never seen anything in my 17 years. Now it's 18, coming up in 18 years. There was always a little bit of explanation or, compare, contrast, whatever you want to. I hate to use the word selling, but you had to sell yourself to bring people in. And why would I do this core program? Anymore, I invite people that if they're really interested, hey, take a look at the community and let me know what you think. And literally I did one sentence with a gentleman. I said, I got something that will work really well for you. It knocked my socks off. Are you on Facebook? Yes. I said, why don't you take a look at this community? Let me know what you think. I'll make sure, just check it out. And if you have an interest, just shoot me a message back. And I thought maybe he may sit in there for a month or 2 or 3. Literally 3 days, I got a text message saying, I want to do the ERShred. And all I had said was, take a look at the community and let me know what you think. I didn't really tell him anything more than that. So I'm really, really super excited that if people come to this business with your mindset and your belief system about helping others, the money will follow. And, money's not evil. I think it's whatever energy you want to put towards it, and if you abuse anything in life or you take it for the wrong reason or you manipulate it, you're probably going to get more of the same. I know my wife, her group is called Karma. It's Karma Organics, and then she's got her Karma Organic Sisterhood. But karma, it was a big word in my life, in that what comes around goes around.
Oh, yeah.
And I've always believed in that, but I've never been affiliated with a business or an opportunity to make money where it's been so aligned with my purpose and my belief system. Whereas all I care about is helping others get what they want. You want more energy, better sleep, feel better than you have in 20, 30 years. You got to take a look at this. I want to ask you about TikTok. So I have to give you all kinds of creds. I'm so intimidated by Snapchat and TikTok. I begged my stepdaughters to teach me. I bribed them, offered them money to coach me on, some of these new platforms. And they kind of like, oh, you're not getting on TikTok. No, that's not for you. Anyway, I'm amazed at how many successful people I know that are entrepreneurs that are also network marketing that are becoming very successful with TikTok. I know we talked about this the other day, but how did you find TikTok and how did you tell us how you learned about it? I mean, you're getting quite good at it.
So TikTok, I started getting on TikTok during the start of all the craziness in the world.
Okay.
And it provided a form of entertainment. It also provided a form of connection. First and foremost, I will tell you, TikTok is for everyone. Young or old, it doesn't matter. TikTok engagement and all of that is actually overtaking Facebook and everything else. With TikTok, you get more authenticity from people. So, the videos that you see come from me, it's because I heard a song or I heard something and I went, hey, I can make a video like this. And from that, my energy comes out. I get other people that are like, hey, your video was great, or whatever. And just the heart, the like, a follow. And from there, people start seeing you consistently. They start seeing you, in different aspects. But what they see is someone that, oh, okay, well, that song resonated with me, or this saying resonated with me. And you literally are able to start building small relationships that way.
So how many, you've done this for a while, but on average, how many views, what do they call it? I know on Facebook,
Views,
whatever.
I'm only hitting in the thousands right now. I did have one that was 14,000 about a week ago that went out. And by all means, I'm not a TikTok guru or anything like that. I'm just someone that started out doing TikTok just to have some fun.
Right. But you just said you're getting anywhere from 1,000. You said one got 14,000.
Well, here's the thing I relate that to ERShred. Bob, after our car accident in September, in November, when I really started wanting to share the shred, and I saw how much more engagement and how much more connection was coming out of TikTok, I was sitting at 300 or 400 followers. On TikTok, you have to have 1,000 followers in order to do a live. Well, one of my friends that I made on Facebook started doing lives before me, and I told him, I was like, Andy, I'm coming for you. I want to do a live video with you. And it was more because he really just left Facebook. It was more for me to reconnect with him. But I also saw opportunity to start connect with others, because a lot of my Facebook in the beginning was a weight loss journey, a weight transformation journey on it. So there's videos, older videos of me doing workouts, weighing 260, 270 pounds, and you see it for months and there's no change. So at the beginning of December, I told Andy, okay, I'm coming for you. And I started focusing on getting up to 1,000 followers so I could do a live. From that, I took everything that I watched in TikTok, everything that people had shared, and I started putting it together to make my own videos.
Did you take a class or buy a book or?
Nope. I've never, I'll be honest here, I have never spent money on buying a coach, buying a mentor, buying, now I have taken advantage of, hey, give us your email and we'll give you this for free. But I'm also a firm believer, if you walk into the room and be the stupidest person in the room, people will give you everything.
I'm only asking that in terms of, Facebook's getting really, really difficult to build an audience. It's not what it was 10 years ago even. And I was too intimidated to do lives. I mean, finally I started doing lives, but it's not what it used to be. Even if our own private group, if I go live, I mean, we get a couple hundred people that might see it. And here's an example. You're getting 1,000 to 14,000 people, and you're just building, you're just getting started with your page or whatever they refer to it as. I think one of the greatest assets here is that because you are a trailblazer, at least on this team, you're one of the first people that I know of that are taking advantage of TikTok. This is what Ray Higdon said. Ray Higdon, for those that do not know, is like Eric Worre, is one of the top network marketing coaches out there. He's got good stuff, and he's got a lot of free stuff too. I mean, and it's good stuff to listen to. If you're interested in this business, I highly recommend it. You got to find someone that you gravitate to or that it's relatable to you. But Ray Higdon said one thing, and that is, I spend $1 million a year on advertising on Facebook, a little over almost $100,000 a month. And he said, I've had one live get 50,000 people. It sounds like a lot of people, but one live getting 50,000 people, but he's spending $1 million a year to build that audience. And here he is on TikTok, not spending any money. And in the first 4 months, he had 4 TikToks that reached 50,000 people. And I mean, that's amazing to me. So what I'm just telling our audience tonight, for those that are in our Shredders Unite group, I know other people within Isagenix that are using TikTok, and they're older than I am. And I'm thinking, what the heck am I not doing? I thought TikTok was for kids. And they're saying, just like you, oh no, it's not. It's for everybody. Is that we have an opportunity to kind of go back and think of it. We're back in Facebook 10, 15 years ago, when you had the algorithms working for you and you're able to build a large audience and get your voice heard. Whereas if you go to TikTok today, you can achieve that. Exactly. And my suggestion is, you want to work smart, but you want to work hard, but you want to work smart. And you do one Facebook Live, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you might get a couple hundred views versus getting thousands of views on TikTok. I think it's something that we all should explore. And if anybody out there wants to raise their hand and say, hey, it could be you, Ricky, if you're going to become the TikTok guru, maybe you can do a training on this, which I think would be wonderful.
I would be glad to share what I have learned so far about TikTok.
No, I think it's great. I mean, it's like Snapchat to me. I'm still not even sure how it works, but that's one of my goals for 2022, is to be a little bit more brave in jumping into social media and things that I don't understand. Because I mean, it's all about getting your voice heard, right? And getting people to follow you. What are you about?
Right.
Do you have any goals or aspirations for this year or the next 5 years? I know you've mentioned about how important family is and spending time with Corbin. What you've seen what Shawn's done, and you've seen what many of us have accomplished in building this business. So it's possible. But do you are you looking at your own tracks to run on? Like, where would you like to be 3 years from now, 5 years from now?
So many. One of those, out here, I do run a restaurant, and there's little bits concerns. Our community out here considers that restaurant theirs, but they feel like it's fallen away from them. So currently within the community, I'm just in my personal community, they're asking me when I'm going to open my own restaurant, which has been another long time dream. Now what I am doing with building that right now and creating the menu, I'm literally going to create a grass-fed country kitchen. I have the name picked out, and I've already, I'm not shy about it. I've told the restaurant that I'm helping out now what I'm going to name it, and I'm going to have a little sign war that goes on with them. And so, the restaurant I'm helping out right now is it's called the Bad Rabbit. And I told them I'm going to name mine the Tortoise and the Hare. Hey, Bad Rabbit, you know how this ends. I haven't been shy about that. But again, it comes back, like, a lot of my things come back to ERShred. And this day and age, with everything that's being pushed on us in restaurants and fast food industry and everything, we have another opportunity to re-revolutionize this world and give back a grass-fed country kitchen that gives us our health. And when you walk out of that restaurant, instead of going, oh, I gotta go home and take a nap, you're like, I'm gonna go hike that mountain right there. I'm gonna go down to the national park. I'm gonna go swim in the lake. You have an energy walking out of that restaurant.
So your restaurant, developing your own restaurant is a big why in the future?
That is one of them, yeah.
How do you plan on funding that restaurant?
Well, actually, I'm getting a lot of people in the community starting to ask if they can help and donate for that.
Okay.
Part of that also is that, as I work the business side of ERShred, some of that money will go back for that restaurant.
Awesome.
Another part is I'm part of a charity foundation that we started a couple of years ago for homeless vets. And one of our people is a veterinarian in the community that I live in. If you can't tell, I base a lot of my things around community, also community, family. it's a connection. So our community down here lost Doc Sam, our veterinarian, a long time, like 40, 50 years. He was a veterinarian down here. Well, they didn't lose him. He retired finally. And so our community down here, being rural, we all have animals. They want their vet back. So I brought our friend down here, had her meet Doc Sam. They hit it right off. She met some of our locals down here. And right now, you know, actually some of that money goes back to helping her get down here to become our veterinarian. And that is, you know, I brought him down, introduced her to a lot of the locals. She fell in love with the place. She's in Chicago, Bob.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, she fell in love with it. She wants to be down here, but we do have to jump through, you know, the legalities. We have to get her relicensed down here. We have to look at how we are going to build our facility. And so when I started presenting this and talking with the community about it, we have one member of our community actually already donated the property to put the new vet clinic on. The Humane Society that's about 80 miles north of us has now stepped in and contacted me and said that they want to donate mobile units so that we can take care of all of South Brewster County.
Oh, wow.
Veterinarian. So again, it comes down to communication, connection, that community, and actually showing people that you truly care for them as individuals, no matter if it's for their health, if it's for their pets' health. It's literally a caring aspect. And that when I saw that, how that came to be is when I saw that Doc Sam had retired, you know, and I love Doc Sam. I saw a need and a shout from the community. What are we going to do? How are we going to do this? We can't lose Doc Sam, because Doc Sam did so much more for this community. And I had an answer, and this came about, you know, we had our car accident back in September, beginning of October, and my community down here came together for us. And when I saw that, I saw a way to give back to the community and something that they really wanted. And that was my way of saying, here, I can repay you guys a little bit. And I'm getting choked up because of it. It was my way of saying, here, I can repay you guys. I can give you something you want, and I can give you something you need. And, you know, the veterinarian that I introduced to them, she's a veterinarian because she wants to be, but she's also a doctor. But she chose to be a veterinarian. So with bringing her here and the connections she's already made, the community basically gets to continue the legacy of Doc Sam with someone that believes in the same values. So it was my way of saying, here, we can do this, and as long as she likes it here. And she instantly fell in love with the community and everything about it down here. And so, you know, was it random chance or was it fate? It was fate.
That's a wonderful
So,
statement. I think many people who are within our community, I think everybody has similar stories. One story that I think the common thread is that just about everybody feels that Isagenix or ERShred came into their life at the right time when they desperately needed it. And we all believe it was a divinely inspired, or it was fate that brought us together.
so
It's
on
amazing.
that note, I'm going to relate it back to ERShred and Isagenix. That veterinarian is John Bear Risley's wife.
Oh, wow. And for
And
those that do not know, John Bear is he's part of our community in the ERShred that you introduced him to,
uh,
and he's doing really, really well on the program.
right. And so, yeah, I mean, still, ERShred still, it all started with ERShred and sharing this opportunity. From that also, you know, I have in our community, people are constantly asking me, what did you do, Ricky? And I've told them, I've introduced them to ERShred. I've shared it with them. And what I get within our community and that is people asking, well, I really need to look into this more. And I don't push them into it. I just tell them, you know, whenever you're ready, I'm going to be here for you. You just let me know.
Awesome. Well, I just want to leave it with people. I love these. I mean, your story is so compelling. And the main reason is that it's from the heart. And it touches everybody. I mean, you're riveting. But that said, I want people within the Shredders Unite business group to kind of put their business hat on. And I don't want to just talk about the money, but the other aspect that is one of the greatest stressors to our community and to our personal family and to marriages is finance. And if you can figure out how to get healthy and then eat for free, which I look at this program as, the majority of people, if they're just getting an extra $250 to $500, $1,000 a month, that's life-changing. But if that more than pays for your products and you're eating for free, you're getting grass-fed beef for free, if you think of it that way, then it's a luxury, right? At that point in time. And the beautiful thing about this business model, if you make your mind up that you want to build this and you have a dream and you have a goal that you can attract, you put it out to the universe, you put it out to God, you put it out to your core belief system that this is what I truly, truly desire. And I'm going to get this by helping others achieve what they want. When you can put that together, it's magic. You will manifest. You will create this. People will show up in your world. They're going to show up on your TikTok. They're going to show up from your old past, from being a restaurateur and being around, traveling the country. People will seek you out. But with that, this is the best financial planning tool that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I've seen it all. I used to do this for my career. And the beautiful thing is it doesn't take an investment to get started, a very small investment. You're eating your investment. That's number one. Two is if you pay it forward and share it with others, you're unlimited in terms of your investment return. It's uncapped. It's unbelievable. There's not another investment that I have seen in my lifetime that even compares to this. I know my good friend Peter Greenwald likes to say, well, what's the return on investment on this program? You can't put one on it because you're starting out at zero. There's no cost of entry. But that said, if you have determination, if you look at Shawn as someone who ran the 4-minute mile, or maybe it's their mom and dad, or maybe it's a Peter Greenlaw. But if you look at it on a 5-year horizon, you can literally set up a retirement fund for yourself or a charitable fund. As you were saying, you want to be charitable, you want to give back to the community and so on. You can create an amazing asset that can generate income, and it's the best kind of income. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, right? It's not retail sales, it's residual income. And that's what true wealth is. Everybody wants to know how to get wealthy. Wealth is developed when money works for money. In other words, money is making money for you. And that's our business model. So when I asked you what your aspirations are and what your goals are, you've got some big dreams, which are amazing. And I'm thrilled that ERShred is part of that. But what my hope and prayer is, because you're so authentic and so real, Ricky, that people are going to be attracted to you because they too want to feel good. They too want to lose weight. They too want to have the energy you have. But in the process, this will become the major way of you funding your dreams. I mean, you got to have an income source to build it. And this is doable. It's been done over and over and over again. I know we're at the top of the hour. It goes by so fast.
So I told people in a chat that I would help them with one thing for business, and they're already doing it. They're just overlooking the fact that they're doing it. There is a reason that I share everything on my personal page first and then share it over to ERShred.
Mhm.
That's part of the reason, is to give inspiration that everyone that's sharing in ERShred is already sharing the shred and sharing the business aspect on their terms.
Right.
And literally in this world, especially nowadays, authenticity has no comparison. So I started looking at it as, yes, I'm here. I love ERShred. I love the community. I love everything about it, from the community, the family, the business aspect, you know, the business model, all of it. But I know that there's, you know, almost 8 billion people in this world, and there's going to be a lot of people in this world that relate just with me and just with my story. But the only way for me to get that out there is to share it. And
Exactly.
so my whole reasoning for sharing on my personal page and then sharing over to ERShred is to kind of give some inspiration and help pay the way to say, look, there's people on your page right now that you don't even know are watching you, and they're wondering what you're doing, and they're just looking for the opportunity to send you a message. They might not even like the post or the way what you shared, but they're looking for the opportunity to open up a conversation with you in Messenger. So we've all been sharing the shred. We've all been living the business model. We've just been keeping it to ourselves within our community. And you guys all have the power and opportunity to do that, should you choose to go.
So the message is to get outside of the community and start posting live on your own Facebook page or TikTok.
I'm like, you don't even have to do lives. I mean, lives are great. It's a great way to connect. And I'll tell you right now, Facebook loves when you go live, because they love to share that with it, and it will boost your algorithms on it. But Facebook loves stories too. So
I think everybody loves stories.
So if you can write a compelling story, it's not quite as powerful as live, but it is pretty powerful. And it is a way to relate with many other people out there that are just looking for that opportunity to open up that conversation.
Wonderful. Well, Ricky, I'll end on this note. We just crossed 24,000 in our big ERShred group. And if we have more people like you willing to share and put yourself out there, it's not going to take much of a spark to grow it to 48,000. I mean, we're getting close. We're at that tipping point. But I just ask for those that are called or so moved, if you're thrilled with your own experience and your transformation with ERShred, I know you know other people who could benefit from the same, and don't be shy. Ricky, thank you so much for joining us. I'll make sure I have you and Ashley back, maybe have you as a couple next time. But
Ashley just walked in.
Awesome.
I think you want to
Hi,
say.
Hi, Ashley.
So I think she wanted to say hi to everyone.
No, we'd love to have you both on sometime, do it as a couple and show you how you're basically working it together with ERShred and being successful. I think that would be fun. But I wanted to thank you. Thank you, Ashley, for allowing us to borrow Ricky for an hour. And this is a lot of fun. 2022 is going to be great, guys. Dream big, think big. What is it? Aim small, shoot small, aim small. But the whole idea is be focused with your effort. Hey, Corbin, work with intention, purpose, and obviously find out what your why is. What is your desire? What is going to make you motivated, get up in the morning? What excites you in your life? If you do that, you're going to be immensely successful. Everybody, thank you for this evening. Thanks. I apologize for being late. It was last minute. I just got in from work. But that said, here's to a great 2022 and congratulations, 24,000. Let's see if we can bust 25 by Valentine's Day. That's a goal, but we can do it. Take care, guys. Have a good evening. Thanks, Ricky. Bye, Corbin.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Bye. Great call.
Hey, Natasha. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Hi,
Here's
guys.
the
Have a good night,
24,000.
everybody.
We can talk, Natasha.
Good night, everybody.
Yes, we will. Let's chat this
Good
weekend.
night. Say good night.
Batman.
Good
Oh,
night.
no, it's not.
Good night.